Hello. What I have here is a copy of the Widescreen Mod for Bejeweled 2, developed by BoggY of the Bejeweled fans Discord server. Now, I've seen a bunch of screenshots from him during the development phase, and needless to say, I was very excited for the release of this mod, because one of my favorite Bejeweled games is now getting a fan-made makeover. So no longer will I have to play Bejeweled 2 in ugly 4x3 anymore. I mean, I'm not someone who strives for nostalgia. I mean, I've had enough of 4x3 games. So let's see what this has to offer.
Welcome back.
So this is what the menu screen looks like. It doesn't look too different. You can still kind of recognize what's happening. Though one thing that I would like to point out is that this new resolution, 1366 by 768, makes it so that there's a lot more space on the left and right. And suddenly, everything stops feeling so cluttery. And I think that is quite a plus for me. It just makes me feel better when I play these. Now, the game, for the functionalities itself, nothing much changed. You still got the automatic update up here. Like, it hasn't gone away, I swear. So, that's kind of about it. About what's different about the menu screen. The one thing I would like to point out is this bug when I press scores. So, normally, in 4x3, you would have the score pods, the score leaderboards for Classic and Action come out from the sides of the screen. Well, for this one, it comes out at the middle of the screen instead of the two sides. I think it's a 4x3 thing which hasn't been properly fixed, but I believe BoggY will because, you know, he's a good person. So that's about it. Let's see what the game itself has to offer.
Go.
So this is what the game looks like. This is what the game screen looks like. Doesn't look too different. Still has a lot of the stuff that you expect. Though one thing you may notice is this chunk of stuff here. Normally I don't think you can see this section in the game in the standard PC release. Though I think if you have had the chance to try the mobile version, you will know that this part exists. And that is because for this project, a bunch of the backdrops have been extended. Actually, no, extended is the wrong word. What had happened is that BoggY wanted to replace the 4x3 variants with their widescreen variants. Such as this backdrop, for example. Normally, you wouldn't be able to see anything here. You only see from here to here. And for this one, fortunately, there is a widescreen version. There is an original render available on the internet. And so, it has been implemented. Oh, by the way, all of the backdrops have also been upscaled to HD, I believe. So they will look a lot sharper as well. Though one small problem is that for some of the backdrops, the upscaler has unfortunately smoothed out all of the fine details. So some of the features of some of the backdrops will look like blocks of color instead of being like detailed.
Level complete.
Then you got yourself a wormhole.
Get ready.
And this is also one of the extended backdrops. Normally you wouldn't see this red mountain here, but now you do. Though this small section is a little blurry because the original render did not extend all the way out. So then what BoggY did, or rather what Nick, who is, I guess you would call him a co-developer, is that he took the background version in the Bejeweled 2 website, I think that's where he found it, and he overlaid that here. And because they are of different quality, so one part looks blurry and one part looks clean. So that's about it for classic mode. I think action mode looks sort of the same. Looks more like the same. Let's see what puzzle looks like then.
Go.
Now, when I say that these backdrops have been replaced by their original render, that's not exactly true, because for some planets, like Centauri Prime, for example, there is no original render to be found. So instead of trying to find one, what BoggY did was crop it, so zoom it in so it feels kind of like the console versions, and then upscaled it to HD along with the other backdrops. And to be honest, I think that's for the better. It still looks just as nice. And here we have Tau Heximus, probably the best looking widescreen render of my opinion. It looks so nice. It looks really, it just looks really classy. Like these details on the left, I've only seen them for the first time, and they are really nice. And it also, and playing this also feels like playing the console version as well, except with a motion controller instead of buttons. And I'm actually kind of in love with the console versions because of the spacing. Now this, like, the widgets have been spaced in between the board and the left edge. So again, it doesn't feel so cluttery anymore. Instead, it just makes me feel good, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I think that's about it. I think I have let's see what the end of puzzle mode looks like. Still looks sort of the same.
Excellent.
Yeah, it still has that hypercube transition. Let's see if BoggY has changed up the credits. Let's see if he has done that, because it would be quite a cool Easter egg, honestly. God, this music is really nice. I really love to vibe to it. There's also these beta testers as well. I wonder if we can contact any of them, because they really do, because I believe they have info that we don't. Oh, there we are. Widescreen Mod BoggY with help from the Bejeweled fans community. That's him right there. And there's also this plug as well. That's our Discord link. You should totally visit sometime if you haven't joined already. So I think that's about it for like these. And also let's check out these modes as well. So Twilight, Hyper, Cognito, Affinity. I'm going to skip over Cognito and Hyper because I don't think they're too special. Twilight, I'm going to check it because it has some background modifications. So I would like to see what these look like in 16:9. And well, I can't say I'm surprised. It still looks nice because obviously it's 16:9. I just like 16:9. I would make love with it. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel so sad anymore.
Level complete.
Wait, actually, let's turn off hardware accelerate for a change. Because I would like to see what the ripple transition looks like, as I'd like to call it.
Excellent.
Seriously, the gain and reach crop is amazing.
Level complete. Get ready.
Oh, damn. So you can see that ripple transition, it's really nice. And there are no visual bugs, which I think is quite amazing, considering that BoggY has run into a bunch of issues with that transition in the early stages of development. Oh, and one thing you might have noticed is that whenever I level up, the level up text, instead of being centered on the two sides on the board, is centered between the left and right edges of the screen. And that's something that BoggY himself has admitted that he doesn't know how to fix. Let's see what Finity looks like. No, this is Endless, dang it. Anyways, Endless still looks amazing as usual. Except now the medallion looks even better because it doesn't have to be so close to the board anymore. And I love it, honestly. Oh, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to test out some of the secret codes. Now, some of the more basic ones like old school or color swap obviously works. Heck, even no frame as well, Though I would like to also test out some other ones.
Level complete. Get ready.
So, the nausea works, and if you're wondering, network also works. It doesn't look 4x3 anymore as I first thought. Initially, I thought all the ones and zeros would be confined within a 4x3 space, but it's actually been stretched out, which is very nice. Same goes with Starfield. Looks very clean, very pristine. It's just amazing. No. Just makes you feel good inside, you know. Now let's get back here for a second. Let's see what Affinity looks like.
Go.
Just like the emotes, Affinity looks a lot better now with these new backdrops. It looks really nice, and I think it's really cool. So, what exactly are my thoughts on this mod? Well, as you can probably tell, I really like it. It makes the game feel, in my opinion, a lot smoother and more polished. And it also makes it a bit more modern as well, since when I play this, I don't feel like I'm playing something made in like the early 2000s, but maybe something made at around the same time as Bejeweled Twist, let's say. And if you're like someone like me who prefers the console feel and just 16:9 games in general, I think you're going to really enjoy this mod. That's it. See ya.